Welcome to 2025. This is going to be your year. I can just feel it for you. I know it deep in my gut. This is your year. Whether last year was like your best year yet, or it was really crappy, or it was somewhere in between, which I think is kind of maybe what it was for a lot of us. There were highs and lows, which I guess is just life, right? That always happens. Life and business, highs and lows. But the great thing about the start to the new year is that it's a fresh slate. And whether you believe in, writing out your intentions, or it's your goals, or whatever you call them, right? Your resolutions, I guess that should have been the word I started with, whatever you call them, there is something about the energy in the air that gets you excited at the opportunity that lies ahead of you. And before you pick up your pen and start jotting down your goals or resolutions or whatever you want to call them, there are some things that I want to talk about first, particularly for your business, that are really important to help you set goals that are actually realistic and achievable, but also push you, because there's that fine line, right? So that's what this episode's about. Let's get into the chat. Hey friend, quick question for you. Are you feeling stuck with how to get your brand to stand out on Faire? I'm asking you because as a buyer myself, I can tell you that there are just so many brands out there vying for the attention of these buyers, but I know that your brand has something so special and it needs to be seen. I put together a private podcast for you that goes deeper into what buyers are really looking for on the Faire platform and how you can stand out from the crowd to grow your wholesale business and really land those dream buyers. So if this resonates with you, head to the link in the show notes for instant access. So here we are in this new year, and I hope that you enjoyed your holidays and that you took some time off and organized your studio space, your warehouse, your desktop, all the files that just accumulate over the year. I hope you just did some housekeeping, some digital housekeeping. That always feels really good. I always like to do that before I set my goals. It's just clear the space, deep clean my workstation, just evaluate all the stuff you have, just get things in order, and then sit down and just let your brain start to get back into, okay, what do I want business to look like? Start dreaming big. And what I find oftentimes, there's either two camps that I feel like people fall into. There's the camp of, I'm going to write down, this is the year, okay, that I am going to become a quadruple millionaire, and my business is going to be absolutely bonkers with growth. And that's happening because I say it's happening on January, 6th when this is airing. I'm saying that I'm going to 50x my sales this year. And that's happening because I say it, and I'm just going to call it in, right? And then there's the other camp of the I did, this amount of revenue last year, and I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I'm just going to hope that I do the same again this year. And it's not pushing yourself at all. Or it's I'm not even going to set actual financial profit focused goals because I don't really feel confident in knowing how to do that properly. So I'm just going to wing it. I guess maybe there's 3 camps, right? I don't know where you fall into those. And it's okay. If you're an extreme, wherever you fall is totally fine. But the thing is, we get to a point where that doesn't fly anymore. Winging it doesn't fly. Setting goals that are wildly unrealistic. And I'm not saying, hey, bring it back down to earth. Don't challenge yourself. Don't set really huge goals, because there's a difference between dreaming really big and then also working towards big goals. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit, they're kind of 2 different things there. I'm not saying don't manifest your biggest, deepest desires, because definitely do that too. But also, we're running a business. We're running a retail business, which is rooted in reality and it's rooted in data, Or just not pushing yourself and feeling a little bit afraid of what growth looks like. And you can also be all those things at once. I have found throughout all of my years of running my own businesses, Sometimes I'm afraid of what growth looks like. I'll be the first to admit that, where I find that I'm holding myself back, or I have held myself back because I'm nervous about what it looks like to double or triple or quadruple my revenue. And that's not always healthy to sit in that level of fear and hold yourself back. And on the flip side, I've also set wild goals. I did work with a mentor once who like really pushed me to just dream really big and set really big goals. And I felt really excited about that. And that felt really like empowering and, whatever, but she didn't have a product business, and it's just different. It's just different when you have a product-based business. And so now I'm like in between, in the middle. And I've gone back to my roots of corporate retail, where we set goals every year, annual goals, and then quarterly goals, and then monthly goals, and then weekly goals. And even in some cases, actually, there are daily goals, depending on the time of year and the sale, the promotion that's happening. If we're working through markdowns or inventory clogs, like it is down to the minutia, the level of planning. And you shouldn't be doing that for your own business, but you should have that concept around strategically planning goals based on certain time periods in your business. And it really starts at the beginning of the year and looking at your total business opportunities. So before you set a single goal, I really want to talk about the foundations of goals. Where do you start from? Goals don't just like appear out of thin air. There can be some things that you're like, what would be really cool? It'd be really cool if I could do this in my business. I have no history backing that. I have no data, but it'd be really cool if I did that. Now, that can be a possibility, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the foundation of really profitable goals in a product-based business all starts with hindsighting your business, understanding what you're coming off of to inform you where you're going. Understanding what you're coming off of to inform you where you're going. That's really what hindsighting is. Every single major corporate retailer hindsights. I've talked about this before on this podcast if you've been here a while, but I think it's really important to talk about it again because sometimes it's not fun. Like we want to move on, right? Like it's January. We're ready to lose a jillion pounds and suddenly be having this perfect morning routine, and we're grounding and we're managing our circadian rhythm and our hormones are perfectly balanced because we're starting our day with bone broth and never touching coffee again. Like all these things sound really amazing, right? But it's not always realistic to just flip the script on day one of the new year. And I've said this before and I'm going to keep saying it again. It's so important to understand what you're coming off of in your business because that tells you where you have opportunity, and it helps you to set those really big, dreamy, lofty goals because you know that there's opportunity that lies in that area. Or you can just dream about a new thing and go get after it, and maybe that happens too. But it's really important when it comes to profitability in your business to understand what you're coming off of. So I want to talk for a minute about hindsighting. So let's just start with what you're just now coming off of because that is fresh in your mind. If you do this quarterly, I promise you, it will make your life so much easier. It could be quarterly. It could also be based on when you deliver a new collection. So that could happen at different points of the year. It might be 4 times a year. Depending on how many drops you have, you could just do product collection hindsighting. Okay. It doesn't have to be at a specific time period. It's really based on what makes sense in your business. I always like to say quarterly because I think that usually lumps in a product drop likely. If you're doing more than one product drop per quarter, hopefully not doing monthly or weekly drops. So not hopefully, I guess it depends on your business model, right? But depending on how you have your business structured, usually you can encapsulate all the drops within a quarter and just makes it a little bit easier. But since we're coming off of Q4, it's fresh in your mind. I want you to sit down and really look at where the volume came from in your business in Q4. So really just looking at a top level, what your sales were, your margin, your profit, your cost of goods sold, understand what money you spent to be able to make that revenue happen. What were the expenses? What was all caught up into that? Did you spend money on advertising? Did the advertising work? Did you work with influencers? Did that work? Was that worth your investment? Did you do giveaways, collaborations? Like, how did those things perform? So really looking at your actual top line sales, then breaking it down into the expenses, understanding what expenses went into that. Did you overspend, underspend? Was it just right? What could cut? What needed to be added? Looking at your marketing. So like I was alluding to, obviously, like collabs and paid advertising, also just your actual marketing, like how much did you email? What were your open rates, your click-through rates? Like really do a deep dive analysis on your actual marketing efforts. Were you showing up on Instagram a ton? Did that work? Did that not work? Did you do mailers? Direct outreach for wholesale or direct outreach to customers if you have a brick and mortar? Like, what did those marketing efforts look like? Did they pay off? Did you go to markets? Was that worth your time? Did you see an ROI on markets? If not, maybe those could be something you slash in the future. Like really look at all your marketing efforts and tie it back to profit and ROI and really take a look at all that. Also, let's just talk about product. So did your top performing products actually pan out? What you set out to sell, did those perform? Did you think that you were going to have a top 10 list and did it actually shake out that way? Or did you have something surprise you? Do you have too much inventory in something, too little inventory in something? What were your customers responding to? What were they asking for? Did you have to add an extra promotion in? How'd your promotions work? Really look at a full picture of your business, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is understanding by channel how you sold. I love talking about the by channel piece of things. When I say by channel, I mean just selling channels. So that could be D2C on your Shopify site. That could be marketplaces like Etsy, Amazon, Spoonflower, wherever else you're selling. That could be direct wholesale. Could be wholesale marketplaces, meaning like a platform like Faire, actual markets themselves. Where did all your revenue and profit come from during that time period? So really looking at that. What I think is so eye-opening for that is understanding where the profit comes from so that you can understand where to prioritize your time and your efforts. That's where you really can say, oh, there's a lot of opportunity with, I'm going to say, my D2C, right? I didn't prioritize my efforts there, but I have way more profitability there. And I'm spending all my efforts on Etsy. I'm not seeing a return, like really just looking at where the opportunities lie at the channel level. And then I really like to look at opportunities just in general, outside of like what your data is telling you. I mean, there's definitely data that ties into that, but just understanding like in my business last year, let's just say it's Q4, right? Where was there opportunity? Was I completely missing a trend? Did I not have the right inventory mix or product mix? Like within my existing business, where was there opportunity? And then are there just opportunities in general? Is it marketing opportunities? Like outside of the product space of things, like where are there other opportunities in your business? And just kind of like brain dumping that. I like to do all of these foundations before actually writing goals, because all those things, your goals are pretty much done for you. Once you do all that work, it's really obvious like where the profit's coming from, where your energy should be focused, where the white space opportunities are in your business, what your customers are telling you. Your customers always tell you. They vote with their dollars, and sometimes they vote by DMing you or coming in and you overhear conversations, or they talk to you at the market booth, or they talk to you in your store. Wherever that may be, your customer will tell you what they want, and you just have to be able to listen and understand how to look at your data and be able to mine that information out. Having that curiosity in your business makes you a really successful entrepreneur, and looking for profit in unique ways will make you stronger as a business owner and really withstand kind of the test of time. So whether you're selling wholesale or you're not selling wholesale yet, or you are a retailer, no matter where you're at, like this is a process that is really, really foundational in your business. So if you haven't done this for Q4, I recommend that you do it for the holiday season, because if nothing else, this is going to set you up next holiday to be even better than you were this year, right? You're going to be able to look back at that spreadsheet or that list, that doc, wherever you put it, and say, oh yeah, these things happened. Because I guarantee you, you are not going to remember come next September when you're planning your holiday marketing what happened in detail this year. You're just not, right? You're probably not even going to remember in February in detail what happened, because you're going to have 2 full months of selling between the holiday season and you've moved on, right? So I encourage you to take the time to really do that. If you already have done it, that's amazing. Do that same thing for your full year. Right? Go back and look at your entire year and do this exercise and just really dig in and understand where you have opportunities in your business, and that will help inform your goals. If this is something that you are just like, I don't know, I need some help setting goals. I get overwhelmed by this. I sit down and I stare at a blank screen and I'm just like, oh my God, where do I start? I don't know how to find white space. Like, that's cool that you're saying that, Kristen, but I don't really know how to do that. Or I always set so many goals for myself and then I never follow through. Or I do what I think is good goal setting, and then by July, like, shit has hit the fan and I have like no idea where I'm working towards. I am very excited to announce the upcoming Best Year Yet goal setting workshop. I have taught this live the last 2 years, and it's my framework that I've cultivated over the years in corporate retail, applied it to my small business, refined it. I work with my one-on-one clients with this methodology, and I've taught it live. This year, we're going to do it a little bit differently. It's new, it's improved, it's revamped, and it's repeatable, which is like key music to my ears, right? You want to be able to do something that's repeatable in your business so you can come back to it every quarter, every year, every month, whenever you like to do this type of exercise. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a workshop series where you get profit-focused strategies and goals built out that are perfectly tailored to your own business, okay? This is going to be the year that you get clarity on what's going to really move the needle in your business. It's going to be your year to prioritize your life as much as your business goals, because you need to have that in alignment. It's going to be your year to set next level achievable goals that are going to drive more profit, keyword, more profit in your business without burnout. That's what I really want for you. So we are going to do this together. I'm going to walk you through step by step so that you feel really confident and clear that you have set achievable goals that are pushing you forward, that are moving the needle forward, and not totally stressing you out and leaving you feeling like you just like failed again. You didn't hit the goals again. No, we're not doing that. We're going to outline these goals and get you on the path to your next level of success this year. So this workshop is going to be pre-recorded this time. The reason for this is that I found the last 2 years teaching this live that it is just a lot of information to sit down and try and do in 90 minutes. Which is how long the workshops were the last 2 years. We would start going through something and I would start to move on whenever I could tell people were still thinking about what they, were working on in that last section. And I don't want you to have to go back and redo something after you've listened to me talking. Like, I want you to be able to do this in a space where you can actually get it done and work through each lesson. So the way that this is going to be sent to you, it's going to come to your inbox on 115 with mini lessons that are broken down into smaller bite-sized sections so that you can sit down and do part of it. If you don't want to spend your whole day goal setting, that's cool. Let's do a couple lessons. Let's just work our way through it and have it not feel overwhelming. Give yourself the time to properly plan it out, because you do not need to set your goals on January 1st. You don't need to have your goals even set by the end of January if you don't want to. Like, it can be a rolling process. They are meant to be a living, breathing thing with your business. So you're going to receive the workshop series in your inbox on 115, along with my proprietary spreadsheet that will help you map everything out. It's overhauled. It's going to really walk you through exactly how to use a spreadsheet and keep updating it throughout the year. And with this first kind of launch of this, I really want to make sure you're fully supported going into the year. If this sounds like exactly what you need to have your best year yet, I invite you to check out the link in the show notes. or head to kristenfishercoaching.com/goal setting workshop to grab your seat. If you're ready to take your wholesale business to the next level on Faire, I invite you to check out the Faire Bootcamp. It's the only program of its kind that combines a step-by-step growth approach to optimize and stand out on Faire and buyer relationship building strategies to capture the attention of your ideal retailers, both on and off the Faire platform. With bite-sized, action-focused trainings, the Faire Bootcamp is designed to deliver results as quickly and efficiently as possible because I know you are busy and you do not have time to waste. So to learn more, head over to kristenfishercoaching.com/Faire Bootcamp. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. If you are loving the show, I would be so beyond grateful if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with one of your biz besties to help spread the word. I hope that you absolutely crush your sales this week. I'll be back to chat with you next Monday.